All right, let's have a real talk. If you're young, if you're ambitious, and you are just sick and tired of being told to accept an average life, then you need to hear this. We're going to get into exactly why you aren't rich yet, and more importantly, what the blueprint for changing that actually looks like. So, let's just cut right to the chase, no sugarcoating. Why aren't you rich yet? I know, it's a blunt question. But if you can't immediately answer it, it probably means you're caught in a trap that you don't even see. And yeah, that trap has a name. Our source material calls it the drifting trap. You can think of it as the default setting for almost everyone in society, and it is specifically designed to keep you, well, right where you are. So what exactly is drifting? It's that passive state where you're just kind of floating through life. You're reacting to things as they come instead of proactively making things happen. It's letting your career, your money, your entire future be decided by other people and other forces instead of your own conscious choices. Now, here's the thing that's so important to understand. This is not an accident. The whole system is kind of set up for you to drift. It wants you to take that safe job, get that average paycheck, and be perfectly content with a small vacation once a year. It wants you to be predictable. But let me tell you, predictable does not lead to wealth. So to break out of this trap, we've got to start by tearing down one of the biggest lies we're all told about money. You've heard it a million times, right? Money can't buy happiness. Our source just calls us out for what it is, a lie. A lie the rich have been telling the poor for decades. The truth? Money buys freedom. The freedom to choose what you work on, to set your own schedule, to live wherever you want. And that freedom, that is the real foundation for happiness. You see, the drifter's mindset is all about waiting. They're not out there creating value, they're hoping it just falls into their lap. They're waiting for a lucky break, for that winning lottery ticket, for some kind of handout. But hope is not a financial strategy. Okay, so if sitting around and waiting doesn't work, what does? This brings us to the core engine of building wealth, the value equation. Now look, I know this is going to sound a little extreme. But the very first step is a massive shift in your mindset. You have to make a conscious decision to become obsessed with building wealth. I'm not talking about being kind of interested or a little curious. I mean obsessed. Because if you want to achieve something that only a tiny percentage of people ever do, it's going to take a level of focus that is anything but average. So why are you seeing the number 12 here? Because you absolutely cannot achieve an elite level goal if you're trying to chase 12 other things at the exact same time. You can't become a master coder and a marathon runner and a gourmet chef and get wealthy all at once. It demands a singular, obsessive focus. And here it is, the most crucial point. The reason you aren't rich yet is because you haven't provided enough value to the world. It's a simple and, maybe even a harsh equation. Your income is a direct reflection of the value people perceive you create for them. You want more money? It's simple. Provide more value. This quote just hits so hard because it boils it all down to a fundamental choice. If you're not actively and consciously building your own path, providing your own unique value, you will, inevitably, be used as a tool to build someone else's dream. That is the basic transaction of a drifter. So just pause on that for a second and be honest with yourself. Who is building your dream? Is it you, or are you an employee building your boss's dream, a freelancer building a client's dream? It's a really critical question you have to ask. Okay, so you've made the decision. You're done drifting, you're ready to start providing real value. So how do you actually do it? Well, thankfully, you don't have to invent the process from scratch. There was a proven pathway you can follow. And here's the great news. You don't have to be some revolutionary genius. You don't need to invent the next iPhone. Success leaves clues. The real key is to stop trying to reinvent the wheel and instead learn how to recognize the patterns and the blueprints that are already working for other people. This process basically breaks down into two simple stages. First step is discovery. This is more than just picking a career. It's about finding someone who has already achieved exactly what you want, and then reverse engineering their entire blueprint. Figure out their skills, their systems, their marketing. Then, and only after you've done that, do you move to stage 2, acceleration. This is where you put in the work. You get your reps in, you practice, and you deliberately try to get better every single day. And a huge part of acceleration is getting feedback, but not just any feedback. You need real, constructive criticism from experts who actually know what they're talking about.
Look, praise from your mom or your friends feels nice, but it's not going to make you better. They love you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. An expert will, and that's what you need. And really, all of this, it brings us to one final fundamental choice you have to make. It's the central theme of this entire blueprint.
Never, ever forget this. Drifting is the path of least resistance. It's what's going to happen automatically if you do nothing. It is the system's default setting for your life. But for those who choose to fight against that current, for the people who choose obsession and choose to create value, the prize is very, very real. It's freedom. The freedom to live your life completely on your own terms. So that's the question we're leaving you with. The choice is yours. And it's a choice you're making every single day, with your actions or your inaction. Are you going to keep letting life happen to you? Or are you going to grab the wheel and start steering?